Usually around this time of year, when it's dark and cold, everyone thinks about being in the Caribbean. And if you're a mega loaded, super rich media mogul, you can be found lounging around on a beach in the West Indies. And I thought, which media mogul do I know that's possibly going to be in the West Indies this time of year? Simon Cowell was busy, and I don't know him anyway. But I do know Charlie Dagnall. And look where he is.
Well, there's numerous things you've got wrong and numerous things you got right. I probably wear my trousers as high as Simon Cowell does, which is not the look that anyone's going for, let's be honest, but it seems, my body seems to be shaped that way. But when the super rich media mogul bit, my God, how have I burgled this trick? You wouldn't believe it, would you? But I'm very, very pleased to be speaking to you from St. Kitts, where it rained a bit this morning. I won't lie, it rained a bit. But the sun has now come out. It's only 28 degrees, but I'm quarantining. I can't sort of go out and fulfill the joys of what the island has to offer. I told a few people that I was out there, they say, oh, you've got to go to the Shiggity Shack or whatever it's called. And I go, oh, that's great. That's fantastic. I can't. I'm not allowed. We're quarantining in the hotel at the moment. But like I said to you before the interview started, if there's anywhere to quarantine, then having beautiful views of the hills that I've got and the golf course in the distance, which is torturous because we can't go and play on it. And all the palm trees as well. It's not too bad. But yeah, really, really grateful to be here. And I'm really looking forward to what's coming up.
Well, this is the quarantine edition of the show, because later on we'll be talking to Chris Green, who is similarly quarantined in Melbourne after being pinged.
I can't talk to Chris Green. I can't talk to Chris Green, Moots. I can't talk to him. I've commentated with him. I've commentated on him. And he's way, way too good looking a cricketer. He's a model. That's what he is. He's actually just burgling a career in cricket before he actually does the runways and the catwalks of Milan and Paris. He's such a good bloke, is Chris Green, but he's way too good looking to be a cricketer.
Very good cricketer as well, isn't he?
Yeah, really, really good. And one of these, if you like, sort of these franchise cricketers, he's made a very, very good career. Around the world, you know, he plays Sydney Thunder, I think is his main, has been his main team, but he's played CPL, he's represented Middlesex and Warwickshire in the Blast, and he goes around the world doing this. You know, I think he realises he's probably not going to be a test cricketer, but he's a blooming good T20 franchise player, and that suits him, and he's made a very good living doing it, and, you know, he is a quality bowler. Yeah, he can hold a bat, but he's a quality bowler. He's a good thinker. He's captained numerous sides, and he's an all-round good bloke. When you've got to go into different franchises with a different group of teammates and have to be sort of everyone's mate right from the off, Chris Green is that perfect combination of quality player and genuinely good bloke.
Yeah, Webby somehow managed to get him to turn out for Brentwood last year, and he just used to turn up on Saturdays and take wickets and score runs for complete fun.
Well, I'm not surprised at it. They've done well getting him to rock up. I reckon the opposition are just sort of like going, hang on a second. No, hang on.
So anyway, so you're in St. Kitts. What are you doing out there?
Yeah, well, it's the start of the Under-19 World Cup, and it's the first one that I've covered. And you know me, Moots, the one thing that when I'm covering domestic cricket back in the UK or wherever I've covered cricket around the world, the thing that I get most excited about, is seeing someone new and seeing what they've got to offer, what their character is like, what skills they have. And it's always exciting when you see some young player who you've never seen before and come into a side, usually in the Blast, say, or something like that, and show you what they've got to offer and who we might be talking about in 10 years' time or over the next 10 years, but potentially for international cricket or even domestic. Well, this tournament, you've got 16 teams with 15 per squad who we've practically never seen before. And you think of the players that have come through this system. I'm out here with Graham Swan at the moment. Now, Swanee was And England under 19, they won it with Rob Key and Oe Shah back in 1998. And there's just 3 names from that one team who have gone on to have fantastic international careers. You know, Virat Kohli's played in it, Ben Stokes played in it, Josh Butler, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Kagiso Rabada. All of these players have actually been through this system and have been mainstays of international cricket for the last 20 years or so. They're the ones that we talk about when we're talking about test match cricket or limited overs. So I'm hugely excited to see what's on offer. It's a broad spectrum of countries that are here. Last under-19 World Cup, Japan were involved in it. This year, New Zealand are not coming, and I think that's because of relative COVID restrictions and quarantines and all of that sort of stuff. So Uganda are here, Canada are here, obviously Scotland, Ireland. So we've got lots of different countries who are, making it a really, truly world event. How they'll do, who knows? You would expect the test playing nations to obviously overcome them with relative ease, but isn't that exciting? You might see 1 or 2 players that the whole point of a World Cup is to try and make it as broad as you possibly can. So that's why we're here. The tournament's taking place over 4 venues, St. Kitts being one of them. And there are games going on concurrently. So we will broadcast one game, but there might be other games going on at the same time. There'll be small camera sort of crews there just covering that so nothing gets missed. But St. Kitts, Guyana, Trinidad, Antigua are the places where it's being held. And it all kicks off, I think, on Saturday. My first gig is Sunday, so looking forward to that. And that's England, Bangladesh. Bangladesh, who won it in the previous, which is fabulous. Again, I mean, what a lift that is for a country like Bangladesh. What an opportunity that was for Bangladesh when you consider they've never won an ICC tournament, but they won the Under-19 World Cup. What are we going to see from Bangladesh in test match cricket and one-day international cricket in the next 10 years, when they reach maturity? In fact, 2 of those players that played in that Under-19 World Cup winning side played in their recent victory over in New Zealand. So that gives you an indication of where these players go. So I'm really excited about it. I've never covered it before. Obviously, being in the sunshine is rather nice. I'm not going to lie. That I'd be foolish and I'd be lying to you if I said I was. But yeah, it's a great opportunity to see these players. I'm really looking forward to commentating on them. And going in, it's the first time I think I've gone into a commentary. And I know Butcher's done these tournaments before as well, but actually going in, genuinely not knowing who I'm going to be watching or what they've got to offer. Yes, a couple of England players I've seen before. Heard good things about Jacob Bethel from Warwickshire, Tom Prest I've watched at Hampshire. I think Archie Lenham is over, although I've got to check that. But Archie Lenham from Sussex, myself and Mark Butcher, we commentated on his first ever game, his debut in the T20 Blast for Sussex. So there's lots of excitement. And watch out for Rehan, the spinner, leg spinner from Leicestershire. Oh, yeah. He looks like he's a real good prospect. So lots to get excited about.
It's one of those where you have to keep the scorecards and keep your notes, because in 3 or 4 years' time, and I know this from hosting at Billericay, we had an under-19s international Tri-Nations or whatever it was. And the West Indies 11 that played, and I think this is about 2017 or 2016, maybe.
Yeah.
At the time, just a bunch of kids, no idea who they are. But looking back at the scorecard, there's a J Holder, there's an S Hope.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah. Talking and what we have been given in preparation, and you can't go through reams of stats on these players, and that's not something I do anyway. It's not what I like. I like to learn about them as individuals and where they've come from. We've got given, every single player has filled out a questionnaire, a sort of A4-sided sheet of questionnaire, short answers and the like, and they've filled it in and handed it back to the ICC. Well, managed to have a look at some of these. There's some fabulous answers. I mean, some really funny ones as well. I'll give you one from England. Sonny Baker, who was a quick bowler from Somerset. And there's been a lot of good things. I think he's played a bit of List A cricket, might have played in the Championship. I'd have to check. But I was looking down his list of answers, and firstly, he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneers NFL fan. Well, so am I. So there's a little link there. That was nice. But then it says, what would you, there was one question which everybody's answered. I've got to tell you about one as well in a second. And what would be your walkout tune? What would be your walkout tune if you went out to that? And Sonny Baker went, Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. And I went, you'll do for me, son. You'll do for me. There was one lad who filled it in, and everyone sort of went for it. And and there was a lot of new music. Of course, you'd expect that. These are kids that have been born sort of 2002 onwards, which does make you feel astonishingly old. I'm only 45, but I packed in 2005, and they weren't even one or two. There was one, everyone sort of gave their answers to what their music would be. Some were old tracks, some were recognizable tracks, some were new tracks. And there was one lad, I think he was from the UAE, who put down nothing. I would like to walk out in silence.
Remember when you were on last time, you talked about 100 and you felt you were groovy with the Calvin Harris track that you dug out, only to find out it was from 2009.
Absolutely. And that was where my sort of thing stopped. I mean, it's great. There's questions such as like, who's 5 guests that you invite to dinner party? And some of the answers are really interesting. Some have just gone cricket, and some have put, my parents and all of things. But it's lovely. And it gives you a little indication as to the personalities of who you're dealing with. And I think that's quite good fun.
That's party as opposed to work event, to be clear.
Yes, indeed.
So where can we hear your dulcet tones over the next few weeks?
Well, I believe that Sky have picked up the rights to it. So I think we're going to be on Sky. We're across, obviously across the world. And, we've only just sort of landed a couple of days ago. And so all of this is, I'm still finding out a lot myself, but I'm pretty confident that Sky are going to be taking this. And so, myself's out here, some regular voices that you'll hear. Simon Dool is out on commentary, Alan Wilkins, Russell Arnold, Natalie Germanos, Graham Swan, myself, Samuel Badri. It's going to be, quite a few regulars and one or two irregulars, I'm sure. But really, really looking forward to it, Moots. Do you know what? I always say, I get excited about young players. Who's going to be the character? Who's going to be the cricketer that comes in when your side's 40 for 4, rolls up the sleeves and gets you to a total? Who's the cricketer that's, when the side's 160 without loss, that the captain turns to looking for a wicket? That's who I want to see and what gets me excited. So should be fab, mate. Should be really high standards too.
Well, we're looking forward to it and looking to hear you back on the OS and looking forward to seeing a bit of Caribbean sunshine, because we all need it, whether you're there or not.
Pass it over via Wi-Fi to you. And do you know what? I realised I've had a shocker. I've only brought like oil, like tanning oil.
Oh, nice. Well done.
That's going to look really good, isn't it? So you might find the sun protection factor of 50 white. I'm going to look ghostly when we're doing all the preview stuff. But no, it should be great fun, mate.
I'm just thinking in the studio, we're trying to make some tea, but we've run out of milk. I don't know if you know anywhere where I can get some milk.
This shows you how much of a donut I am, and these sort of things happen to me. I don't know why, but I was convinced. So we can't go out of the room, and so to order, obviously you get room service and stuff like that, and your meals get delivered to your door, and that's pretty much it. But if you need anything, we have a fridge in the room, but if you need anything, now one thing I need is coffee in the morning, right? So I rang down to room service and asked for some coffee and creamer and all that sort of stuff. Well, not a great deal arrived. So I thought, well, I'll take this into my own hands, knowing full well that the local supermarket delivers. So I went online, set up an account, got myself. So the things I need, a Diet Coke, of which I'm drinking right now, Diet Coke and milk. So I thought, I've got to have milk for my coffee. Right, okay. So I'm just going on the website and stuff like that and clicking and add this, add that, add the other. Fine. Turned out when and this enormous bag was outside of my room. I've picked it up. I've got, blimey, that's got some weight in it. Opened it up. I've ordered 7 litres of milk. 7 litres of milk just for my morning coffee. So I'm just thinking, what have I done? So just not concentrating, maybe a little bit of jet lag, but I've obviously made, and a 7 looks a bit like a 1, Moots. So that's what I'm going with. So if anyone needs any, I've got plenty of it, and I'll be having the milkiest coffees in the world. I'll be finding all sorts of things to do. So milk pudding, milkshakes,
cornflakes,
all of that. Yeah, and if someone can send me 364 packets of Angel Delight, I am absolutely quid free.
Oh, now you're teasing me. Angel Delight, my God. Don't even wait for it to set, just hoof it down.
Just hoof it down. Brilliant.
And now you mentioned Chris Green being the best looking cricketer.
Yes.
Alongside me and Webby in the studio, making us look very ugly, is one of probably the best looking commentators, Mr. Matt Kabir Floyd is sat with us.
You've got him on as well.
We have.
What is it? Oh, how inadequate do I feel now? in and amongst Chris Green and Matt Floyd, you've had to cancel. What you've had to do is you've had to sort of even up the sort of the attractiveness rating of the program. Yeah. So with them 2 in one corner, you've now weighed it beautifully, bringing me on, and so that balances the scales somewhat. What a good boy Matt is. He's an absolute legend. He's alarmingly good looking as well. Those chiseled pictures of him. Oh goodness gracious.
Snake hips.
I know. It's just so yeah, I feel super. Thank you for inviting me on this particular edition. I feel fabulously inadequate, but what a great boy. What a great lad. What a great commentator too. Top man.
Well, after setting the bar so high in 2021, we've got to start the new year, starting as we mean to go on. So this is where the bar's being set.
Yeah. Next week, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah. And Rob Key. Well, listen, great to catch up, and I'll let you go back to the not going on the beach and not going under your sun lounger. Can you get out? Can you leave your room?
No. I have a balcony though, so I'm allowed to go out on the balcony. Although I brought my bass, knowing I was going to be in quarantine. Yeah. I brought my bass to do a little bit of practice, just after. I've got some work to do, obviously some preparation to do and all of that sort of stuff, but just giving yourself 5 minutes break, etc. I brought my bass, and I've got a little mini amp which plugs into it, and I can put my headphones on. I can hear it. Fantastic. I've just broken it.
Oh, no.
But it's okay. I've got 7 litres of milk, so that really makes up for it.
Well, I hope you've got a proper bass, like a Fender Jazz, not a Steinberger fretless or headless.
Oh, I've got. Do you want me to show you?
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I've got. It's a beauty. It is a beauty, actually. Goodness, it plays well as well.
Oh, wow. I love the colour.
But this is an Ibanez short scale headless.
Yeah.
So it travels. It is so light, but plays beautifully. I don't play it beautifully, but it does play beautifully. So I've got this to muck around with, but now I've broken the little mini amp that goes in the base of it. I'm having to play it acoustically, which actually is better because I'm quieter. So I don't have to listen to myself playing all the bum notes that I play and the tinny sounding ones. But it's a great little thing to muck about on, to try and improve, as I slowly have been trying to improve for the last 5 years.
Wonderful. All right, mate. Well, good luck. We shall be listening out for you, and we'll catch up again very, very soon. But always, and thanks for your support of the show for quite a long time now. I've lost count how many times you've been on, but
it's basically when you can't get anyone else, or if you do need to balance up the attractiveness factor on a particular episode, then I'm only too happy to oblige. Cheers, mate.
And on that bombshell. Charlie Dagnall, all the way from St. Kitts, covering the, is it the World Cup under-19 that's going on?
Yeah, under-19 World Cup.
Under-19 World Cup. Well, we'll be following that, and we'll keep you updated, and we'll come back and check in and see how you're getting on.
Yeah, please do. Anytime, mate. Maybe when I've gone to Antigua.
As you do. Charlie Dagnall, all the best, and we'll speak soon.
Cheers, mate.